there's this similarity with like lifestyle in the US and Nigeria, right? And we have a huge community of Nigerians compared to Germany, I would say, in the US. So I feel it a lot less here compared to in Germany. It's stronger in Germany. I like my first 2 months, you know about this, right? Like in Germany, I really really struggled, and it's the exact experience for me also, because not until I moved to Germany was the first time that I actually had to stay by myself. I was never used to that. Like, you always share the house with someone. When I was still living with my siblings. When I moved out, like in the uni, it was like in the hostel, like with other guys. And when I even moved into my own space after school, right, I see how like my other friends in like other room and stuff. Everyone, we are just all together. Like, then I left that life to completely opposite lifestyle, and it really took a toll on my mental health, man. Like, for real, it was really bad that I quite underestimated that. And I like that Nigerians are talking about that a lot now, because I feel like a lot of us just feel like, oh yeah, when we leave, it's like, yeah, but this is also something to really consider. And I think it's probably even worse in Canada, because I feel like Canada on its own is probably a very depressing country.
You know how I feel about Canada, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So then I feel like people there feel it differently. Yeah. Because it's cold, the weather and everything, it's insane, So yeah, I definitely also miss that communal life, like compared to the calendar lifestyle that we said something related to this in our previous episode, right? It's like, before you even spend time with friend, you have to kind of check with each other's calendar and see if it works. And it makes hanging out and socializing with friends and family like a chore, rather than just seamless into your lifestyle, right? Like, this is just something that has to happen without plan, but you sort of have to plan to meet with people that matter to you, or like that are important in your life. And it's
exactly.
sad.
I hate that it's not as spontaneous, Like, I'm telling you, if I hear my door knock and I wasn't expecting anything, I'm thinking in my head, huh? How? And I just had to rewire to become that way here in Germany. I remember my first apartment in Germany. It was a shared apartment. And it was so bad that my flatmates, if they would want to talk to me, they probably hear me inside the room talking or chatting or something, or maybe on a call, or maybe playing game or something. Yeah. And they want to say something to me, and I will still write it on a sticker and put it on my door, so that when I come out and then I'm going back in, I see a sticker on my door saying something. That's sad. I remember the first time I saw it. But the funny thing is that I had great flatmates. I had amazing flatmates. They were also just trying to respect boundaries because of what they are used to.
Yeah.
So the moment I saw it, and I called everyone to the kitchen, and I'm like, guys, we live together. It's fine if you don't feel like we can connect as well to call each other family, but we are at least living together. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't just knock on the door, come in and be like, what's good? And the moment I said this, the lifestyle changed completely. Like, literally, people would leave food in the kitchen. Like, we started sharing a lot more stuff. People would come through my room to use my balcony. Like, it was just different. And I had German flatmates, because I think it's just like a human connection thing. Yeah. I just have a feeling that maybe there are also a lot more people that have the eccentricity of wanting to be a little bit alone. I think we have people that want to be alone in Nigeria as well. But it's just not the majority. And I think it's the opposite here, that we have people that want something communal, but quite a lot of people are happy being alone. And to respect the boundary, one particular way of living now trumps the other in the society. I think maybe that's the case. And really, it's one of those things that I learned very, very early here, that you need to be super, super active about getting yourself into communal living. out here as well.
Have to be
Otherwise,
proactive
it's so easy
about
to get depressed. Yeah, I remember one very funny story of a it was one of the people studying in the program as well, and he lives in I think it was from Belarus or something, and he said something very funny that it blew my mind. It was my early days in Germany as well, and he was just telling a story about how in winter things are a little bit dark and gloomy. But the way he said the story, he just said something like, "Oh yeah, I remember that winter. We were like four in the room. It was dark and gloomy. We were all depressed." And then he just continued the story. But for me, I was like, pause. We were all depressed. Why would you just gloss over that as if that's not like the biggest, For me, it felt like, what is this acceptance of loneliness and depression and gloom? Like, what is this? And I picked that up because it happened in like my second or third month in Germany. So I picked it up and held it really tight to say, look, people are fine because they understand that this is inevitable.
This is the reality. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always like to at least punch holes into things like this. So I held that very closely and really thought I need to make sure that I'm looking out for these things.
Yeah.
But I really miss it. I miss communal living a lot. What else do you miss?
I have an interesting, controversial thing that I miss. Can you guess what it is? I'm not going to ask you to guess.
I want to try.
Okay.
Chaos.
Spot on, bro. Like it's maybe not the general chaos. It's just the Lagos chaos, bro. Like I miss the Lagos chaos, bro. Like it's almost like something is missing when everything is sort of calm and normal. Like you just feel like, like what's going on? Like the moment you step out of your house, the noise, the car horns and everything, the traffic, bro, it's like everything happening everywhere at the same time, like that. Like a movie on Prime, right?
Like that movie on Prime.
Everything, every time, whatever at the same. Yeah, it's like
everywhere all at once.
Yeah. There's something interesting about it that you almost miss it when it's not there, because it's overstimulation of the brain, I would say. So when you don't have that, you almost get addicted to the chaos. And I mean, Lagosians would testify to this, because there's this sort of toxicity that comes with living in Lagos.
Toxic relationship as well.
Yeah, that it's interesting that you miss it when you don't have it. Do you also miss it?
Yeah, I completely, bro, 100%. I completely agree with you. Like so there are two things that I see. One is that overstimulation of the brain, where it feels like you are always in the middle of a movie, but an exciting movie. It's like when the southern part of the world, we have this balance of chaos, and maybe in some sense, maybe we don't have the balance yet. But I think what makes our lives sweeter is that, being able to have chaos outside and being able to go inside, and then it's now calm and it's your space that you can relax. And if you have that balance where we come from, like Nigeria, for example, you sort of feel like you have a balanced life. But if you're in a society where it's calm inside, it's calm outside, what is even the point of saying we are outside? And I think the US might have this a little bit, like states like Florida or New York.
Yeah.
That chaos probably adds to why those places have the appeal that they have.
Exactly.
Because when you say we're outside, it's all those things that you see, and it's like you can literally just go outside and sit down.
Yeah.
You know how it doesn't make much sense to sit down in front of your house and just cross your leg? You have to add your phone to that equation to make it make sense, or a book or something. In Germany, at least.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, you can sit down outside your gate if you don't live in a gated estate. And just watch. You don't need your phone. You don't need anything. Just sit down and watch. Yeah, and you're going to get a movie right there. And I think I miss that as well. But to be fair, it's always a balance. And I think I'll take a guess. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think if you don't have an escape from that chaos, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I think at least my life in Nigeria was I could experience that chaos at will, right? I could experience it when I choose to.
Yeah.
The alternative is, I can just stay. I lived in a gated estate, and my house was the last house in the estate. Behind me was literally a river and then some wildlife. Yeah. So like, if a pin drops, the house is not small, but if I'm on the other end and a pin drops outside, sometimes, I'm exaggerating now, of course, but you would hear it. So I had all this calm and organization and cool vibe, and I can just expose myself to the right amount of chaos that I needed to stimulate my brain and pull back. And this is very interesting because I remember one of my friends, Toby, is from Lagos. I'm from Ibadan. Yeah. There's a little bit of chaos in Ibadan, but it's not the same. It's from Lagos.
Ibadan has this space, right? There's chaos in Ibadan, but Ibadan is so big when it comes, like land mass wise, that you don't really feel it.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot going on.
Because Lagos, it's like choke.
Yeah.
When he comes back from Lagos, he'll be like, Malik, we have to get out of this place. We have to leave this. Like, it just feels like you get into you leave Lagos and you get into somewhere like Ilorin and you're like, how I want to take ginger here?
Depressed. Yeah.
Like, even if you're not depressed, you're just like, this is too comfortable. Like,
it's too easy.
How am I going to get the drive that I need to survive as a young man?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something as well. And this is why they are always like, if you can survive in Lagos, bring any city in the world, we're good to go.